Hey friends, it's Jess and Jericho. Welcome. Today we're talking about the best cat food brands of 2023. Now, all of these cat food brands made it on Susan Thixton's 2023 list. That means that they've proved their ingredients are indeed human grade quality. That means that they're made in USDA kitchens and the USDA inspects the food just like they would for human food sold at the grocery store and at restaurants. Additionally, the packaging is BPA free and the supplements that these brands use are also of human grade quality. On Susan Thixton's 2023 list, they also provide the country of origin of all of their ingredients, whether or not batch testing is performed for bacteria and stuff like that before they go out to the market. And a lot of them test either twice yearly or at least once yearly. So I highly recommend her list if you don't think any of these brands will work for you. I'm only going to talk about brands that I actually have personal experience with, either with Jericho or my mom's 4 cats. So definitely buy her list, support the work that she does. It's more than just a little list. It's a huge PDF that goes way in depth into pet food, so it's really a really great piece. So the first best cat food brand of 2023 that we'll talk about is called Just Food for Cats. Now this company started with just dog food, but now they do have cat food. Right now they only have one protein. Well, technically there's 2 different types of protein in the products, but there's only one product available for cats. And this, I would say, is the best that's for picky eaters. And I know a lot of you think that your cat is the only cat that's picky in the world. It's not true. But there are specific reasons that cats are picky about food, and number 1 could be that it's because they're eating fish-flavored food. So cats often develop an addiction to fish-flavored food. Since Just Food for Cats includes fish, that's why I would say it's best for picky eaters. Because let's say your cat's eating a low-quality wet food that's fish-flavored, you can use Just Food for Cats to help get your cat used to eating better quality ingredients. And then that will make the transition to raw much easier because Just Food for Cats is actually human grade quality, whereas most canned foods are not. Additionally, most canned foods also contain pet food flavor enhancer palatants, and that just increases that addiction. Whereas Just Food for Cats is chicken ingredients. So there's chicken thigh, chicken heart, chicken liver. There's cod and sardines. Yucca root they use as a thickening agent to help bind the ingredients together. Typically with canned foods, you'll see some kind of thickener. A lot of the gums, so cashew gum, xanthan gum, carrageenan, and guar gum. So at least with yucca root, it's a little bit more of a less processed food. I agree, cats wouldn't eat that in the wild, but at the end of the day, all types of wet food are going to have some kind of thickener in it. At least, again, with Just Food for Cats, it's human grade quality ingredients. They also make their cat food in open kitchens, so that might be something that I want to do in the future is collaborate with them and show you how they make their food. But for now, I did try it with my mom's 4 cats. They really liked it. And again, that fishy flavor and that fishy smell is really going to attract your cat. For example, I'm gonna start incorporating sardines into my diet more. And so I bought a can and I opened it and Jericho went nuts. I mean, he's always in the kitchen because I eat meat, and butter. So he's always like, I want some of that. But with the sardines, oh my gosh, he was like ravenous almost. So use Just Food for Cats if your cat is picky about food and is eating fish-flavored food. Use that as a stepping stone to help get your cat used to eating better quality ingredients. But ideally, move on to another protein option in this list because protein variety is key. You don't want to have your cat eating only one type of food and then all of a sudden, maybe they change the formula or maybe your cat gets bored, maybe your cat turns off the food. It's just always good to have variety because technically cats in the wild would eat 5 to 7 proteins to complete their diet. So just something to be mindful of. Just transition to each new protein slowly. Focus on one change at a time. Now just be mindful that Just Food for Cats is suitable for adult cats only. So Just Food for Cats is available at Petco. It's also on Chewy. I've included some affiliate links below that helps support the work that I do, so I appreciate that. If you buy directly from their website through my affiliate link, you can get 35% off your first auto ship order. So I'm able to give you some discounts as well with those affiliate links. The next best cat food of 2023 that we'll talk about is Smalls. And this one I would say is best if you're looking for a subscription. So you want to order it, set it and forget it. They ship all of the food that you need, the exact servings that you need for your cat every 2 weeks or every month, whatever you set, then that's going to be the best option for you. Again, Smalls is on Susan Thixton's 2023 list. Important note though, only their wet food is on the list, meaning that their wet food is human grade quality, their freeze-dried raw is not. And I'm still communicating with them to get more details on that, but for now, they would only include wet food in your trial offer anyway. So I would say just stick with the wet food for now, and then maybe in the future their freeze-dried raw will be of human grade quality as well. What I like about Smalls is that they have way more protein options compared to just food. They do actually have a fish protein that they just added. I don't have any personal experience with the fish protein, but my mom's 4 cats do eat the cow, birds options, and the bird options are turkey, duck, and chicken. And my mom actually gets a free subscription with them since I'm an affiliate, and in exchange for 1 post per month. So it's a really great deal, and I have a discount for you, of course. But because they made it on Susan Thixton's list, I'm comfortable talking about it, recommending it, and telling my mom to feed it to her cats, because previously they were eating canned food, and that specific canned food was not on Susan Thixton's list. So that means that the ingredients are not of human grade quality. Another pro about Smalls is that all of their foods are less than, I think, like 3 or 4% carbs on a dry matter basis. So the majority of the ingredients are meat-based ingredients. They use muscle meat, they use heart, and they use liver in all of their recipes. There are some peas and green beans. Again, I completely agree that these cats wouldn't hunt down green beans. But frankly, these types of ingredients are in all types of wet food. So if you're looking for a step up in the right direction, this is definitely it. Another con I would say is that there's canola oil. Again, you know, I'm all about that. No seed oils. I completely agree. I don't eat any type of oils. Butter and ghee is all I do. But again, these types of oils, there's going to be sunflower oil. There's going to be all types of inappropriate ingredients in canned foods, in virtually all canned foods. So at least with Smalls, again, it's human grade quality ingredients. The synthetic supplements and the additions, like the cons, are very minimal. So I think that the pros definitely outweigh the cons, especially considering that the carbohydrates are so low. They also have veterinarians on staff that formulate the food. And if you're looking for convenience without sacrificing on quality, then I think this is still a really great option. Like I said, my mom's 4 cats eat it every month and they enjoy it. Their skin and coats have improved on this food, and it's human grade quality ingredients. I mean, you can't really beat that. Smalls is suitable for all life stages. So when you see all life stages, that means kittens, adults, seniors, all life stages. And you can use my discount code in the description and you'll save $5 off of your first box. The next best cat food brand of 2023 is Raised Right. Now, I would say that this is the absolute top of the list when it comes to wet cat food, because there are minimal ingredients and minimal synthetic supplements. So the base of the diet is muscle meat, heart, and liver. Now, they do use peas and carrots and stuff like that, but they do provide the carbohydrate amount on a dry matter basis for all of their products, and it is less than 4% for all of them. They have 4 options for cats, but the 2 protein options are just chicken and turkey. There's 2 chicken, 2 turkey to choose from as for right now. The other reason that I suggest them is because it's formulated by Dr. Karen Becker and Steve Brown. I'm sure a lot of you know who Dr. Karen Becker is. Steve Brown, he's been formulating pet foods for decades, and he even created a pet formulation software. He actually communicates with the USDA and corrects their data. Like, that's how in-depth he is with nutritional data. So that's why I really like Raised Right. And it looks just like crumbled up meat that we would cook, and then you can see the whole peas and carrots in it. My mom did feed this for a small amount of time, but I don't have as much personal experience with it, but my mom did feed it to her cats at one point. And when I was a cat sitter, one of my clients did also feed it. So I have experience feeding it to other people's cats, but I mean, Jericho's been off of wet food for years, so. But it does have minimal synthetic supplements, and it's mainly whole food ingredients. They also provide lab safety results on all of their products, and it's public on their website. So I really like that they're very transparent about the testing that they do for different bacteria and mold, and they also provide nutritional data on their website as well. And just be mindful that Raised Right is suitable for adult cats only, so no kittens. And you can use my coupon code in the description below to save 20% off of your first box. The next best cat food brand of 2023 we'll talk about is the best freeze-dried raw option, and this is Quest Cat Food, which is made by Steve's Real Food. So I just mentioned before, Steve Brown, pet food formulator for decades. And I recently tested the beef and chicken recipe with Jericho, the freeze-dried raw, and he really loved it. And again, this one is also whole food ingredients. There are very minimal supplements. The beef recipe actually has kidney in it, and that's typically what you'll see with beef. You'll typically see liver and kidney, whereas chicken, it's just liver. So it's really good. It has a lot of whole food ingredients, and then whole food ingredients like chia seeds and coconut oil. Again, cats wouldn't hunt for chia seeds in the wild, but they add those to balance the fats and some trace minerals. Again, it's still better than synthetic supplements, right? Now, a lot of people have mentioned to me that their cat won't eat freeze-dried raw when it's rehydrated. And actually in the video where I tested Quest Cat Food with Jericho live, it was his first time taste testing it, I had some that was dried and some that was rehydrated. And for the beef one, the first time he tried it rehydrated, he didn't go for it right away. So what you would do is take some of the dry, freeze-dried raw, let him smell it, and then crumble it on top, and then he'll start eating it. And in that video, he went to town. Like, he completely devoured it, licked his mat clean. And then when I gave him the rehydrated chicken, he went for it right away. I didn't have to crumble the dry on top. So just try that. And maybe if you're going from freeze-dried raw straight to all rehydrated, maybe that's too big of a jump, because yes, it's the same food, but cats are also very keen on the texture of the actual food. Plus, when you rehydrate it and then maybe it's in the refrigerator overnight, it's gonna smell differently. So we have to think about all of these things and relate it back to the fact that cats prefer routine. They like predictability. So any type of change, even if it's the same type of food, just changing the texture alone, just changing the temperature, the smell, because if it's freeze-dried raw, you don't have to keep it in the refrigerator. But when you rehydrate it, let's say you let it sit overnight, you would have to keep it in the refrigerator because you're adding water to it. When you add water, then you can create, a soup of bacteria basically if you leave it out at room temperature. So the difference in temperature, the smell, the texture, all of these things matter, even if it's the same exact food. So just try rehydrating a little tiny bit of it, leave it at the bottom, and then put the dry on top. Just take baby steps. I mean, your cat's eating freeze-dried raw, it's a good food. Ideally, fully hydrated, but you're still in the right direction. So just work with your cat. Just remember how long it probably took you to get to freeze-dried raw, and just, stay grateful that your cat is working with you. And of course, I have a discount code for you in the description. You can save 20% on your first order. The next best cat food brand of 2023 is for homemade beginners that are beginners to homemade cat food, and that is Viva Raw. Now, Viva Raw has what's called Pure Blends and Complete. Viva Raw Complete is complete for dogs only. It is not complete for cats. Their Pure Blends, however, are base recipes that cats and dogs can use, to which you would add your own supplements. So the base recipes have the muscle meats, the bones, ground bones, and the secreting organs and the muscular organs. So that's basically, think of that as your 80-10-10, and then you would add your own supplements to it. And I tested Viva Raw with my mom's 4 cats, and I made their food with Al-Nutrin for meat and bone. That is the supplement that Viva Raw recommends based on the nutritional analysis of their products. So when I was making the food, my mom's cats were up on the table, of course, licking the cutting board, licking the bowl, licking the packages clean. And typically they eat wet cat food, but whenever I go to visit, I bring some raw and test it out with them, and they absolutely loved it. They absolutely devoured it. And that was with the supplements mixed in. So they ate it. They were licking it out of the package without the supplements, but then when I fed it to them with the supplements, they were eating it as well. And Viva Raw has a lot of protein variety, so that's really good. They also have ground or chunked. The rabbit is always going to be fine ground, but the chunked you can get in the other proteins. So it'll be little chunks of meat and chunks of bone, which is definitely better than just slopping up ground food. Ideally, raw meaty bones and whole prey, but eating the chunks of meat is better than not eating any chunks of meat. But if your cat's new to raw, definitely go with the fine ground first, and then you can transition to the chunked. Again, textures are a big thing. Even though it's the same exact food, just be mindful that something new, something different, your cat's gonna be like, this isn't my usual mealtime food, and they're gonna be cautious about it. Now, if you don't want to use 𝐤𝐿𝐄𝐄, their ingredients are of human grade quality, and they do put the country of origin of their ingredients and explain why they include those. I use that with Jericho for a long time before now he's eating chunks of stuff and more natural supplements, but I did use it for a while. And again, it's still a massive step up from wet canned food, and it's a whole flight of stairs up compared to dry food. So it's still a step in the right direction. But if you don't want to use 𝐤𝐿𝐄𝐄 and you prefer a more whole food DIY supplement, Viva Raw did send me a DIY supplement recipe, again, for their specific nutritional analysis of their products. So I created a PDF toolkit that explains everything that you need to know. It includes information about the 𝐤𝐿𝐄𝐄 all-in-one supplement premix. It also has the recipe for the DIY supplement. I also included meal prep tips and, of course, a 20% off discount link for you. The next best cat food brand of 2023 that we'll talk about is my #1 favorite. I'm sure a lot of you know what I'm going to say. Press pause and let me know in the comments. Let me see who's right. Hair Today. And I say that Hair Today is #1 because I've been a paying customer of Hair Today since 2019. That's exactly how I started Jericho on Homemade Raw. They have the same supplement I just mentioned, 𝐤𝐿𝐄𝐄 for meat and bone. So that one you would mix with Hair Today's meat, bones, and organs grinds. All of their product pages have very, very specific instructions for the supplements, so just take the minute to read them. I also created a PDF toolkit that explains all of this in the description for Hair Today as well. You can also use 𝐤𝐿𝐄𝐄 plus calcium if you wanted to use a boneless meat grind plus an organs grind. For some reason, if you don't want to use ground bone, then that's also an option, and they do also sell fish oil. But I also say that this one is #1 because if you're an advanced raw feeder and maybe you have a recipe that includes whole raw meaty bones that you want to feed to your cat, Hair Today is excellent for this because they're a one-stop shop basically for raw feeders. So they do have whole prey. I don't buy them from Hair Today just because they're from breeding facilities. They are USDA inspected, but I prefer to buy from Raw Feeding Miami whole prey because they come from farms. Side note, Raw Feeding Miami was not on Susan Thixton's 2023 list, but I mean, I still buy whole prey from them. But with Hair Today, I buy the majority of Jericho's diet. So I get boneless turkey thigh strips, I get turkey liver, turkey heart, turkey gizzards, boneless ground beef, ground salmon. What else? I would buy tripe from them, but they sell out so quickly. So that's why I also use Raw Feeding Miami for the tripe. And I also get beef spleen from Raw Feeding Miami because Hair Today doesn't sell beef spleen. And Jericho also eats their dehydrated turkey thigh strip treats. I think that those are the best treats that you can get. They're the easiest to pull apart. I've tried other ones like lung and the chicken breast. The chicken breasts were really, really hard to pull apart, and the lungs, they weren't a hit with Jericho. They don't smell that great. So I'm gonna dispose of them with my mom's 4 dogs because they'll eat anything. But I also really like Hair Today because they have an excellent rewards program. It really comes in handy. So you'll get points when you create an account. You get points when you sign up for their newsletter. I've been subscribed to their newsletter since 2019. It's 2023. I think I've gotten maybe 6 emails from them, literally. And every time they send an email, they include a discount code. So they don't spam you at all. And you can also sign up for notifications if something is out of stock. they will only send you an email when it's back in stock. You can also get points for writing a testimonial, submitting a picture, putting a link on your website if you do have one. You can share your referral link with friends and family like I do with you, and you earn discount points when they make a purchase. So these points really come in handy. I'm always at least able to get free shipping, but sometimes I get all of Jericho's food completely for free, depending on how many points I rack up. And further, they actually let you use your discount points on shipping costs. Most companies don't let you do that. Even if you have like a gift card, you still would have to pay for shipping. But with Hair Today, they let you use your discount points for the shipping costs. So I've literally gotten 100% for free. One time I got like it was $100 or something, and then it came down to like $1.82. So it's really, really convenient. And because they have so much variety and they have so much information about raw feeding, it's a really great resource that I still use to this day. And of course, as always, I will put my transition plan in the description below. If you prefer to have everything all in one place, then I would highly recommend my Switch Your Cat to Raw ebook. Check that out in the description below as well. And I appreciate you being here. Have a wonderful day.